Hello YouTube, this is I Play Games here, and today I felt like playing RimWorld. I have been playing this for quite some time now, and thought, you know what, I might as well upload a video or two while I play. And I don't really have a specific direction for this, but yeah, so let's just get into it. Let me just show some of the mods I'm playing with. These are just to help me interact with the game with as few clicks as possible, especially when it comes to tedious tasks. So, if you want to screenshot this or, whatever you want to do, feel free. But yeah, this is what I'm working with. So let's just jump straight into it. So we'll start with the new colony. There's quite a different scenarios here, but I think what we're going to do is just crash landed. Actually, you know what? We're going to do the rich explorer. We're going to start with one person. We're going to start with a lot of items here: silver, gold, wood, the charge rifle as our weapon, and then we'll get, I think, like one animal. Um, but yeah, so let's just jump into it. So there's just three different sort of storytelling modes here. Cassandra Classic is more like a build-up of the story itself. So you sort of ramp up with each wave. Then there's Phoebe Chillax. It's more random. You get breaks in between disasters, but she can hit pretty hard. So it's like it's like a mix of random and a ramp up. And then you got Randy Random, which is self-explanatory, which is just pure random. I think we're gonna do Randy Random here. We'll do Strive to Survive just to keep things simple. And yeah, let's get into that. Oh, and then let's do Reload Anytime so we can come back to this game. So random seed, this is just an identifier for the world that we use. And then I think I'll do 100%. I usually play 100% just because my computer can handle it, but it depends on your situation. You can do 30% or 50%. It honestly doesn't matter too much, especially if you're not going to be using the global world that much. All right, let's generate and see what we got. So yeah, I've been playing this game for a long time. This has been my go-to game during like when I was in college, even like end of high school, and I've been playing well into my adult years now, and I've really enjoyed it. And I think it has a beautiful way of telling a story, and then uh, sort of a great way of sort of trying to get out of situations that you may not have predicted for. So personally, doesn't really matter where you start, but I guess I like to start with selecting a random site and then seeing how the planet is and how the terrain is, and then go from there. I like personally like a little bit more of a temperate climate with relatively harsh winters. I don't know, it just seems cozy to me. So let me see. This is not that much of a good area, but let's see. On this side, it's more desert. Um, let's see. I'm trying to find an area where we have a decent crowd where we can do potential trades. So this looks like an area where there's a lot of settlements, and we can potentially have some good trade caravans going to them when the time comes. So I don't like to do too mountainous, but I do like to do like large hills. That way I have like a decent assortment of stone types. So in this case here, for example, we have sandstone, limestone, and marble. That's okay. I like to try to find some granite. I mean, it doesn't really matter too much. Slate and sandstone. I think this is fine. Let me just look at the rainfall. So we'll get a decent amount of rainfall slash snow, but um, and then let's see, year-round average temperature. Oh, okay. So this you don't even get snow here. So maybe we move up north. Let's see. So how would look at this? Maybe this actually would be better. Um, okay. So let's see. What do we got here? So temperate forest. Yep, you'll get some. You get a lot of rainfall. And then it's a large hill, you get marble, sandstone, and slate. Yeah, this looks pretty good. I don't see why not. Let's go ahead, lock this in. So for this playthrough, I don't think I want to do an ideology. I haven't played with it too much. I think, to be honest, I hadn't really thought about like any specific variation of a playthrough I want to do or anything like that. So I think what we're gonna do is maybe just play the classic way and then as we get more pawns, we'll begin to sort of expand and see where that takes us. So because we're playing with first person, with only one person, we'll have to be selective here. So one of the mods I have is this filter mod where we can actually specify we don't want to have any incapable folks. And you know, I don't, you can get into the specific of this, but I think that gets a little nitpicky. I think that should be enough. And then I'm just gonna re-roll here. Psychopath, not really gonna help. Staggering ugly, kind, likely sensitive, bloodlust, fast learner, very neurotic. So what I like to look for someone young, relatively. So like if we're looking at the age, so that they don't get too many like ailments, like back problems or whatever. Like then literally like this person has a bad back. Um, but usually the older the folks, the better the skill sets. Let me see. Maybe we go to who's left behind. So these are all the folks that were left behind, I guess. I mean, they're just kind of placeholders for if you find a good pawn. Okay, let's see. What's her name? Odette. Fast learner, hard worker, very good, but she doesn't have any construction, so we wouldn't really be able to. Actually, hold on. That's weird. Oh, okay. You know what? That's why, because I didn't put it into my actual selected section. No, she's pretty good at construction. The only thing is she's not good with medical, so if we get sick, we're kind of stuck. So we got to be very, very careful about that. Same thing intellectual. We're not really that smart, so it might be difficult when it comes to research time. It might take a long time. Um, but planting, we're good. So it seems like basic skills wise, we're there. Shooting's pretty good too. So basic skills and defense wise we're there. It's just the stuff that we can't defend, like sickness. That's where we're going to be having a hard time. So we got to be very careful about not getting sick too fast. I'm going to try to re-roll a few more times to see if there's anybody else I can get that maybe has the best of all worlds. I'm primarily want to make sure that construction's at least above 4 because then they'll be able to build a decent number of buildings without having too many issues. So let's see, trigger happy, lazy, industrious, bloodlust, abrasive, psychopath. See, this part you want to make sure you take your time with. If I had like played like crash landed, then you know I'd have 2 more pawns and I would be able to have more of a chance. You know, if one person didn't have medical, for example, I'd probably pick up another person who did, so I wouldn't have to worry too much about that. But here we have to be careful. We have one person, and I'm trying to have this play through quite for quite some time. Like I'm trying to have this be a decent playthrough without dying too soon. So let's see what we can do here. Kind industrious, there's construction sucks. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna stick with Odette. I'm gonna hope for the best here. This old gunshot wound, hopefully it's just a wound, so it's fine. It doesn't really affect too much. She just won't be as efficient, but I think that'll be okay. Is there anybody else here that was pretty good? Even look. It'd be great if we find industrious and iron willed, and like that's a pretty good combination because they tend to scale up very fast, and they start with like a good high level of skills to begin with. Um, Mining, construction. Okay, let's start with Odette. Let's see where this goes, and hopefully we get pretty far. So let's start. So yeah, this is my first video, I would say, of a walkthrough of taking it seriously. I had made a video before about, made a previous RimWorld video, but that was back in college, and I don't know, I had tried something new, and then I got busy with work and school and stuff, so I think it's now a good time to get back into it. Okay, so let's pause for a second and see. So, you know, hit the spacebar for pause, or you can hit the pause button down here. This top right is a mod. It's the minimap mod. This allows me to see sort of at a quick glance like where everything's at. These red claws are basically like predators. So if we go to one of these, I think it's a bear or something like that. Where is it? Oh yeah, no, cougar. So yeah, this is useful for just kind of quickly seeing what's in the whole area without having to zoom out and do all that stuff. So what do we start with? Is this our squirrel? No, it's a wild creature. Okay, I was about to say. But this is our pet. Okay, great. That's not useful at all. We get a pet bunny. Um, all right, so what I like to do first is we need to build a base, and to do that, we need to start somewhere. So what I'm looking at here, I like to look at the middle of the map, and I like to see what is available. I see good soil. All right, so when you see, if we look at this overlay, so the bottom right is the fertility overlay, we can see that dark green means it's really good soil for growing crops. They'll grow. I forget what the multiplier is, but they'll grow much faster than the lighter green. Um, and then we have a geothermal vent here. So for later on, when we build our advanced with our tech for geothermals, we'll be able to build a power generator here that will give us a large amount of electricity. And then, yeah, I think for now that's pretty good. We're not too far from this area anyway, so let's go ahead and pick this area right here. And then also defensively, like if I were to expand, I could just block off these areas, these based on these hills, and we would have a pretty good fortified defense. So let's start with that. So what I'm going to do is if I go into the structure and I build this, I select wooden wall, and I'm just gonna build right here. For me, it's arbitrary. I don't really have a plan of how I'm gonna expand the building, but let me just start here. So I'm gonna build a 9 by 9. Uh, yeah, 9 by 9. I don't want to build too big, just because I don't want to spend too much time building. And then I'm going to build a door here. Sure, I'm going to build right here. Put this door right here so that if I want to exit, or if I wanted to sort of have a good view from my pawn, if there's any enemies coming from here, or here, I could take them on pretty easily without with the door open and using this wall as a barricade. But also, like I'm planning on putting crops here, so it'll be a quick access to that. So with that out the way, some first essential things you're going to need to do. So what I like to do is start with a sleeping spot, um, and then a dining table, so we don't get any mood buffs from eating on the ground, and then one stool for them to sit on, and then a torch lamp. So this is just to provide light, so they're not sleeping in the dark. So I mentioned mood. So if we go to needs, we can see their mood bar and then what's contributing to their mood bar. So right now they just landed. They're initially optimistic and they have low expectations. But this will vary and change throughout the game and depending on the scenario and situations that are happening. So right now we have X's around our items. If we go into orders and then allow everything. This will allow everything on the map. So not just what we're seeing here, but anything else on the map that's landed with us. So I'm going to go ahead and do that because one of the first things I'm going to do actually is create a zone. So we can create a stockpile zone. And in this stockpile zone, I'm going to exclude rotten because I don't want anything rotten here in case I forget to change the zoning. But I do want foods. I want pretty much everything except raw resources. So raw resources, I'm going to create a separate stockpile that I'm going to put just outside the base. I'm going to clear everything out and then just only select raw resources. So if we look at raw resources, we have plant matter, stone blocks, and then all these different types of minerals. Um, so I don't want to mix the two just because there are some items that will perish if they're outside. Raw resources won't unless it's plant matter. But right now we don't have plant matter, so I don't need to worry about that too much. But like this book and this food packages will all go inside the building. So to get this person to get Odette to work, we have to go into the work tab, and what I like to do is set manual priorities. So firefighting, patient, doctoring, hall plus, and then basic are all priorities one. So the way the priorities works is it goes from left to right. So firefighting will happen no matter what. Same thing for basic. And then everything else. So if I were to select hauling as number one, if there's nothing to do, if there's no firefighting to be done or no healing to be done as a patient, then it'll automatically skip all these tasks and jump to hauling. But right now, actually that is what we want to do. So we're going to select that. And then a few things on Odette. So there's this tab. So this is part of I think a medical mod that I've done or that I've added. So allow self-tend. You can also go into the health tab if you don't have any mods and select allow self-tend. But this will allow Odette to bandage herself up. Because otherwise, if you don't do that, they're going to be a patient. They're going to get into the bed, into their sleeping spot or bed, but they're not going to be able to heal themselves. They're not going to bandage themselves up. So, with all that said, one more thing I want to do is equip her with the charge rifle so she has a weapon to defend herself from. And then I think let's run it. So we have different speeds to run. We have 1, 2, and 3. So as imagine 1 is the slowest, and then 3 is the fastest. So 3 if you're doing in tedious tasks or anything that's not really worthy of like micromanaging, that's great. But if you want to be making sure you're monitoring your pawn very closely, I'd recommend using 1. So on the right side, we see our outdoor temperature, we see the weather, we see the time of day. So it's hour 8. This is by, I think, 24-hour standard, a military standard time. So this will go into 12, 13, 14, 15, all the way to 24 o'clock or 23 o'clock. So right now, Odette is moving stuff into the zones designated. And then what we want to do after that is I think build our house. So actually, you know what? I'm going to change up something. So I'm going to set hauling to 2 and construction to 2. So what's going to happen now is she's going to build this base first. And then she's going to, once there's nothing else to construct, so she's going to build the base, she's going to build this desk, and then she's going to build this stool, and then she's going to build this torch lamp, whatever the order is, and then she's going to haul everything after that. So right now she's just finishing her task up, but she's going to start constructing very soon here. So if I were to fast forward, we're going to see that she's building this stuff now. And because she has a decent construction skill level, she's going to build fairly well with the least amount of botches. And botching is just simply when they build a specific item or structure and it fails for whatever reason. I mean, in this case, it's just skill reason. But there could be other reasons, and we could talk about that in the future. But for the most part, yeah. So this is what she is doing. I'm probably going to kill our bunny. I'm sorry to say that, but this bunny is going to eat up our food and just take up resources that we don't need. But I think it should be fine. Let's see how the game goes. So what else? There's all these different creatures. So if we go into these tabs, so we have architect. That's what we were just looking at. Work, and then schedule. So this is another one. So scheduling Odette can, if you schedule right, you can make her efficient. So what I like to do, so this is the default. So you sleep for I think like 8 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 8 hours, and then the rest is up to her. So whatever the tasks she has left. But what I like to do is I like to set a minimum of just 4 hours of sleep. And then what I want to do is throw in a recreation, 1 hour recreation before and after she wakes up. And then I like to throw a nap time in the middle. And then she can do whatever she wants in the remainder time. And the reason is because I mentioned her mood. She will get cranky. She will be recreation deprived. And you will see all of that here. Now, this bottom left screen you're seeing is another mod I've done, or I've added, where it allows me to quickly see what her mood is, what is she feeling, what are some of her needs. So right now we're entering the red zone for food and recreation. So she's eating right now. She will automatically do that as she sees that as she gets hungry. And then same thing with recreation. So one of the things that she can do to fulfill that is just go on walks. And one of the things that we can do to help is if we go into this recreation tab, we can build a horseshoe pin. And I'm just going to place this here for now. We're going to highly likely move this. But I think putting it here for now will give her something else to do aside from just going walks. Walks can also be dangerous because if she gets too far, like for example, if she goes into that territory with the cougar might eat her or try to attack her. You can even look at the mood bar or at least health bar and food bar for these other animals. So we can see that this cougar is close to getting hungry, but not quite. This is their health, so they don't have any ailments. This is very useful for when, if you want to hunt something, especially predators, and you want to see if like they're already damaged. You know, do I need to put in how much effort do I need to put in to kill this thing? This is also useful, like you don't want to be in this specific area when the cougar is hungry. Right now, if I went to this area, the cougar would not just naturally attack me, but if they are hungry, they will begin to hunt, and you will get a notification for that. So the schedule tab, that's what that's for. You can manage these different schedules, and it's pretty great what you can do with that. Numbers tab, this is just this gets more useful as you get more pawns. Right now it's just one colonist and it's just some quick information here. So really what's important for me is sort of aiming time and shooting accuracy. So her shooting is pretty good, but you can actually change what you see here. So I think if we go to like, we can like change the like for example abilities, and we can change this to or skills, is it? You can change, we can add in like what other skill we want to see that they do. And then if you right click, it goes away. I haven't really used this too much. Assigning, these are just these are useful for managing what they wear, what they eat, what drugs they're allowed to take, and then what books and what items they're allowed to read. Again, that's useful for later on. Wildlife, this is a very good way to, this is a very useful way to see what's on your map. So you can see your predators. You can also see these different animals, and then you can select them for hunting or mark them for hunting if you want, if you're low on food and you want them to hunt for your colonists to hunt for food. You can also tame animals, but that's something we can go into later. But basically, it's like literally they could become your part of your colony, depending on what your animal handling skill is. So that's what this skill is for. So my Odette is pretty good when it comes to handling. So maybe that's something we look into as we see fit. So I think she's almost done building here. We're getting into the evening hours. She's gonna get tired. Let me see what her, yeah, she's about halfway there. And so far so good. Let me see, let me speed this up a little bit. So hopefully she can finish this building before she goes to sleep, because then we can start the day fresh tomorrow. Oh, but you know what? I just realized we are actually, nope, we're good, never mind. I was gonna say we're low on wood, but we're good. So she's building this horseshoe pin, not necessarily priority, and that's another thing you want to, be careful of and be mindful of. So looks like she's gathering the woods. It looks like now she's just doing hauling, which is fine. That's completely fine with me. So what I'm gonna do is next is queue up growing. So growing is gonna take some time, so you're not gonna get food immediately, and depending on the items that you grow, um, like your speed will depend on the items you grow. Is what I'm trying to say. So let me just build something, set this growing zone relatively small, and then here. So I like to go rice plant. They grow the fastest, and you get some actual statistics on that stuff. So what temperature range they grow the best in, how long they last. And then most importantly, the growing time, 5.8 days, but we can see potatoes take 6 days. And when you grow on a whole bunch of these, like the time adds up. So I'm gonna set rice for now, and then what I'm gonna go into is go to work, and then right now she's gonna haul, but I think hauling wise we're good. What I want to do next is set growing. So after she plants her food is when she'll or plants the rice is when she'll begin hauling back again. And you see we still have a lot of items to sort of haul away. This blinking thing, this is something we can talk about later, but this is how you get into the mechs, or bots that will do automated tasks for you. And then there's still, let's see, there's these pockets of lakes here. So after she, okay, cool. So she's already growing for us, or planting seeds for us. Now, one thing that I want to make sure that we are keeping track is her shooting is great, but the gun that we have is not the most accurate. So what I like to do is build a little security system for us. So what I'm gonna do is build 3 tiles this way, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yep, 3 tiles this way. I'm gonna build 17. The 3 tiles. 1, 2, 3. Yep, 1, 2, 3. What I'm gonna do is build a little security system for us where basically, or a trap where if um, we get any mad animals, which is one of the sort of situations that come up, or if we get any people trying to attack us, we can lure them in. So they're gonna come in through here. So what I'm gonna do is build these wooden spike traps, and then a simple design is putting these doors right here. So what they'll do is they'll come in through this opening, thinking that we can they can attack easy, and then they'll run into these traps and get either injured or killed. So I want to prioritize that after planting because that will allow us to be more secured. And then I think all I need to do here is I'm going to build a door right here so that we can easily come hit this way if we want to do any of that, or if we want to plant or play horseshoe pin without having to go through this trap area. Yep. So she's beginning that. I think she finished building. No, or she didn't finish growing. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say grow first. So now she's gonna plant first, and then when she's done planting is when she's gonna build this. So what I like to do in general is prioritize one fixed tasks that I know are going to be finished in a specific amount of time, and then secondary the dynamic tasks, right? So they'll finish this construction project, but if I, let's say, decide to build another section, they will continue the construction project, and they will put everything, they'll put everything else on hold. So let's continue this way and see where she goes. So far, so good, actually. We don't really have anybody else, or we don't have any events quite yet, but it will ramp up. And yeah. So I'm kind of nervous, to be honest. This is my first video, really getting into YouTube and all that, and I hope you guys can hear me clearly. I also hope this video isn't running too long. Let's see, how long are we in this? 28 minutes? Okay. Well, let's see her finish this planting, and I think I'll put a cut in here. Yep, looks like she's done. So let me put a cut in here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.